Morning, Rabotai. We started speaking about some of the halachot of bishul akum. Now, bishul akum refers to foods that were cooked by a non-Jew. We spoke about last time the reasons why the Chachamim said it is forbidden. Now, not all foods that were cooked by a non-Jew are forbidden. The Gemara says Masechet Avodah Zarah that there are conditions, two conditions in order to make the food asur. Number one is that it cannot be eaten raw. It has to davka be eaten cooked. And number two is that it is oleh al shulchan melachim, which means that it is an important, a significant enough food that it would be served on a king's table. Nowadays, there are not so many kings, but something that would be served at a presidential dinner, something that would be served at a fancy simcha, that's considered oleh al shulchan melachim. Therefore, all sorts of fruits and vegetables that can be eaten raw, baked apples, carrots, things like that, anything that can be eaten raw, even if a goy cooked it, it's still mutar, because these things can be eaten raw. Also, if the food that the goy cooked is not so chashuv, it's not such an important food, that would not, this food would not be served at a presidential dinner, the halacha is, even if a goy cooked it, it would not be asur, it would be fine. However, an example of things that are chashuv, meat, chicken, fish, things of that nature that are usually served at very fancy affairs, those kinds of things would be asur in terms of bishul akum. The question becomes, in terms of sushi, how does bishul akum play into sushi? So now as follows. Sushi is made out of a bunch of different ingredients. Obviously, the raw vegetables, the raw fish, things of that nature, there's no issue over there because there's no bishul, they're all raw. The major issue with bishul akum when it comes to sushi is rice. Rice is cooked. So now, in general, you have to know that they're not sitting there, most places that make sushi, they're not sitting there with pots and putting pots of rice on fire. Most of these places have commercial rice cookers, which is a pot. You fill up the pot with rice, you push the button, and it cooks it automatically. Rice cooker. Anyway, in any event, the halacha is that the mashgiach, the Jew, has to push the button to turn on the rice cooker. If he doesn't, it's bishul akum. Forget about for Sfaradim, it's even bishul akum for Ashkenazim. So in any event, if the Jew turned on the rice cooker, perfect. If the goy turned it on, you have a major issue. So over there, you have to make sure that the mashgiach is the one turning on pushing the button every time, making sure that the rice is getting cooked. There's one more issue with regards to sushi that is not bishul akum related, and that is with regards to the nori, the seaweed sheets that they use to wrap the sushi, you know, those black or very dark green sheets, that's called nori. Those need to be purchased specifically with a very high level hashgacha, because they are infested with many crustaceans, seahorses, sea creatures. If you don't get it with a good hashgacha, you could be eating many, many different kinds of sea creatures which are asur. So you have to make sure anytime it's sushi, what can be wrong? If a person's not careful, the nori that is used in the sushi is extremely infested, so you have to look into it to make sure that it has a respectable hashgacha that took into consideration the bug issues with these sheets. Have a wonderful